everybody?
Hey!
That was a weird intro, and I did finger guns. We're here to review the amazing,
X-Men Apocalypse?
amazing might be a bit of an overstatement.
It was good.
It was decent.
So
We're here to tell you about it. We did.
It's a
we
thing
watched
that we
the
saw.
movie. So, my overall feelings was it was pretty good. I don't think it was anything groundbreaking. I don't think it's not something that you're gonna like look back on and be like, you know what was an amazing movie? X-Men Apocalypse. But it was a fun time. We really enjoyed it. We had fun watching it. So I would definitely say you should go see the movie. You'll probably enjoy yourself watching the movie.
Yeah, it's a superhero movie. That's, like, the best description to give of this movie, like, as a general thing. It is, like, when you think of superhero movie, it's this generalization of this movie. Because you have all the fighting, you have all the witty banter, it's X-Men.
Yeah.
It's nothing groundbreaking, it's nothing new, but it's enjoyable.
This movie is better than the Rotten Tomatoes score, so if you weren't going to see it because it has a low Rotten Tomatoes score, I don't know why the score is so low. It's not that bad.
Like, it's not bad. It is
it's good. It's a fun time.
Like, it shouldn't, it's at, like, what, 49% or something like that?
Yeah, it's definitely not
that's
that low. We'll tell you our personal ratings, what we were
and it's not that
later,
low.
but it's not that low, spoiler alert. Alright,
so now,
speaking of spoilers.
spoiler time!
Yes.
Kind of.
Well, yeah, spoilers.
We'll be talking about them, though.
If you don't want specific details about what happens in the movie, plots, stuff that happens, you should click away and go watch some spoiler-free review, because we're not about that life, and we're about to tell you exactly what we thought, so...
Yeah.
We warned you. Alright.
So I'll kick us off with our first pro of the day. Quicksilver. Who would have thought Quicksilver, Evan Peters, would have been, again, the breakout star of this film. He was amazing in the last one. Everything that they do with him is, like, really good Quicksilver. It's funny, it's different.
He's just really likable as a character. You just really, like, anytime he's on screen, you're just like, he's the best.
And the two scenes that utilized him, oh my god, it's just, the stylization is really good, and then all of a sudden you have, like, really funny moments in something totally serious, but it works, and it's really good, and he does a really good job of being Quicksilver, and for the most part, they did his character really well.
Yeah, and again, shout out to the scene, the Sweet Dreams sequence. If you've seen the movie, you know exactly what I'm talking about, but that's a good example of what you're saying, where it's like comedic but serious at the same time, and it's very stylized, but it works. That scene is just so funny, and I had such a fun time with that scene, so next thing that we generally liked about the movie was, this is a surprise to me, I did not go into this movie thinking that I was gonna like this, but Jennifer Lawrence was really good in this movie. Not to say that I think she's a bad actress, I'm just not a big fan of her, like, personality-wise, and I don't know, there's just something about her that kind of bugs me. And then we were talking about this before we saw the movie. When we were watching the trailers really portray, like, Mystique's character. She's supposed to be, like, the hero of the story, and she's, like, leading the X-Men and stuff, and if you know anything about the past X-Men movies, or the comics, or the character Mystique in general, she's a villain, so it's kind of like, that's a little weird. Why are you making her the lead character kind of hero? Is it because you just want Jennifer Lawrence to be in the movie more? Because Jennifer Lawrence is a big star? That's probably why. But, to be fair, having not seen the movie, I actually really liked what they did with Mystique's character, because, as we get into the cons, I think that if you're making multiple movies, and if you make the characters have the same plot lines and the same problems and the same, character arcs in every single movie, it's really boring. So it's actually interesting to see her in a different role than, like, the villain role, and I think it makes her character more dynamic, more interesting. So I actually really enjoyed Mystique's character, and I thought Jennifer Lawrence did a really good job in this movie. So props, Jennifer Lawrence, you did a good job.
My next pro was Jean Stark. Yeah, I'm gonna call her that, because Sansa Stark played Jean Grey in this new film, and everyone I talk to has a really hard time with her in Game of Thrones, and I love her in Game of Thrones personally, so I already like her more than the average person. So going into this movie, I wasn't sure how well she would do being such an iconic, tough character to play, and they did a really good job at her character and transforming her into the Phoenix in such a short time, because we only get this movie of her as Jean Grey. Her next one, she's as
Whereas
the Phoenix.
original films, it was over several films.
Yeah, like, she didn't turn into the Phoenix until the last movie. And so they did a really good job at shortening that storyline in a way that's still believable, but she can totally kick your ass in the next movie and it'll be also just as believable. And she did a good job. And that was important to me, that she actually could show people she knows what she's doing as an actress.
Yeah,
so
fun times. And this, my last pro is kind of going off of, your
the
pro.
newbies!
The new, characters of the X-Men, so it's, Cyclops, Jean Grey, and Nightcrawler.
Yep.
And also Jubilee. Their dynamics and the scenes that they were all in together was really fun. I thought, like, it was a riot when they snuck out to go to the mall and see the Return of the Jedi. That crack about the third in the trilogy always being the worst was hilarious.
Oh my god. They at least know how to make a joke at themselves.
They did. They do know how to laugh at themselves, I guess. But just in general, I thought that those characters were really fun. I was really invested in them, and you were able to, like, get behind them in a short period of time. And I also, like, for Cyclops and Jean Grey, like, as you mentioned, they were kind of iconic characters, and we've seen them as past actors, and I thought that the new actors really did a good job, and I was able to get behind them as the characters right away. So I really enjoyed their part of this movie. That was one of my favorite things about it. Anyway, alright, so those were our pros. Those are things that we really liked. Now we're going to move on to cons, so things that kind of we didn't like so much, maybe took away from the movie for us.
Our cons are not nearly as bad in this one as they were in our last video.
Yeah, we got a lot of dislikes in the last video, and I know it's because of our cons. But I'm not going to apologize for my opinion, because I have strong opinions, and I'm going to share them.
It's great being friends with her.
Anyway, so our first con, the villain in this movie, it's played by Oscar Isaac. First of all, can I just say, Oscar Isaac is one of the most beautiful people on planet Earth, and you should not have covered him up underneath all of that gross blue makeup and prosthetics and stuff. Yeah. Just let Oscar Isaac be Oscar Isaac, man. Anyway, the villain, this is not a problem that's just specific to this movie. We talk about in Civil War, how, in our Civil War review, I mean, how, like, villains in superhero movies have always been a problem. And this was a different kind of villain than Civil War. It was like the megalomaniac, I'm gonna take over the whole world, but really there wasn't...
Like Thor.
Yeah,
Thor 2,
like the Thor 2 Dark Elf. He reminded me a lot of that character. Yeah. Like, he has this big elaborate plan, but, like, you don't really get what his thing is about, like, other than he wants to take over the world, and that's about all there is to his character.
You know, he's kind of like Ultron.
Yeah.
He sees, like, we have all these false gods, so we've gotta wipe out humanity to make it all better again. Which is, like...
Ultron wasn't great either. Oh.
Yeah.
Nitpicking. But the point is that, like, he really didn't, character-wise, there wasn't much to his character other than, I want to take over the world, and I'm gonna do the thing. It was kind of just a cliche. I mean, he wasn't bad. Like, Oscar Isaac as his character was fine. He did a good job, but there was not much for him to do as the villain other than be like, I'm gonna get ya. So I think that's like probably the biggest problem with this movie. Like in a lot of superhero movies, the villain is just not a lot to...
Yeah. Which goes on to our second con. Magneto. He's a villain in every single X-Men movie. And unlike Mystique, he just gets the same story arc time and time again. Like, I don't know how many times we can kill his family and have him use that as his reasoning. Like,
literally, it's every movie this happens.
His daughter was so cute and she didn't deserve to die, but, like, we didn't need that as a story arc to begin with. Like, it was very repetitive, and he didn't grow.
Yeah.
And every time he does grow, he just goes, peace, I'm out, and leaves again. And so it's like, it doesn't make sense. And it's like, why are you continuing to do it to just this character? He's not going anywhere. Everyone else is moving, at least either back or forward in some way, shape, or form. And he's just like,
because, like,
stagnant.
with Mystique, she, like, you can see is conflicted and obviously, you know, struggles with, you know, being on the sides of humanity or being like, well, mutants have to fight for themselves because humanity is gonna, like, take over. She obviously has the same feeling, but you can see as a character she's grown and become more dynamic, but every single movie, like you said, he has the same plot line. He's like, oh, humans are terrible to us, and now I'm gonna, like...
His character development goes to our next con, which I'll also talk about the 4 Horsemen. You have to put in contrast, you have the villain, Four Horsemen, and you have the newbies. I'm gonna call them the newbies X-Men because...
Which is like the
Jubilee,
Nightcrawler. Yeah, those guys.
All of them, really, really good job. Storm, you get a little, you get where she comes from, you get why she's doing what she's doing.
Vaguely.
She gets under, she wants to be like Mystique, she wants to be a hero and all that stuff, but she follows a false god. Yeah. Like, that's literally her story arc, and you're like, okay, I can go for that. You set that up enough that I can, like, kind of follow it and it makes sense. And, like, so her switching, all that makes sense because of the way they set her up. Angel. Barely did anything with him. The actor wasn't all that great, and, like, you give him metal wings and you kind of take away who Angel is in the first place.
And then they killed him off.
And then you kill him.
It was really weird.
It was like, so you do nothing with Angel. You do nothing with Psylocke. Like, Olivia Munn did a great job with what she was given.
Yeah, like the action
she was
sequences.
Given nothing.
Yeah.
You don't know why she became a Four Horseman. You don't really know why she's sticking to his side so much. You don't really know why she's doing anything. And all of her motivations are just so shrouded in mystery, and I think they're like, oh, she's the mysterious one, but when in reality they just didn't do anything with her.
But at the same time, like, this, you kind of had the same feeling about Angel and Storm. Like, they kind of show you why they might want to side with the Apocalypse destroying the whole world, but at the same time, it wasn't like they didn't set it up enough where you're like, okay, I buy this.
Yeah, you buy them switching sides. Like, you buy Storm switching sides more than you buy her joining that side in the first place, which also is part of because he just picked the 4 people that he first saw.
Yeah, it's kind of
like,
weird.
oh, there's a first mutant. You're on my team now.
Alright, the last con, this is kind of nitpicking, but it was something that, like, confused me. It made me, like, kind of, took me out of the film a little bit. So... if you've seen the movie, you know that there's the sequence towards the end of the movie, before the big fight, where Mystique and Quicksilver go and they're trying to stop Magneto and get him to switch sides and go back to helping the X-Men. And Quicksilver is about to tell Magneto that he's his son, but then he doesn't. He just says something like, I'm here for my family too. He
it's like, instead of being like, I'm here for you, father, he's like, I'm here for my family too.
You can see there's like a moment where he thinks he's gonna say that he's the son, but then he doesn't.
We don't know why.
He chooses not to, but they never really explain why. Like, it's not clear why he chose in that moment not to say so. And then later on, at the very end of the movie, there's a scene where Storm kind of comes up to him and it's like, so by the way, Mystique said that Magneto's your dad, so apparently Mystique is just telling everybody that...
Why doesn't she just tell Magneto then?
Yeah,
first of all.
But she told Storm. It was just weird choice for it to be Storm that's having this conversation with him. And she's all like, so, are you gonna tell him that he's your dad? And he's like, nah.
That's literally, that's almost like an actual line that he says. It's pretty much, it's like along the lines of like, I'm good.
It's really weird because that was his whole motivation throughout the movie, was that he wanted to like reconnect with his dad and, you know, have some kind of connection with him or something, and he just drops it at the end. And I'm assuming it's because they probably want to save this plot line for future films, but the way they handled it in this movie was just not good.
Like, it was a really good motivation and then literally they're like, yeah, so for some reason you're not gonna tell him when this could cause him to stop destroying the world, like, instantly. You're just not gonna tell him instead.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was just we weren't paying attention, but to me it did not seem clear enough the reason that he decided not to tell. If there was a reason, I didn't pick up on it. So now we're gonna go and do our ranking. So we're gonna rank the movie on a scale of 1 to 100 or out of 100%, however you would like to.
You know, we're back in school.
You know. We're gonna assign some arbitrary numbers is what's about to happen.
Yes.
So why don't you go, out of 100, what would you give X-Men Apocalypse?
X-Men Apocalypse, I'm going to give, out of 100,
She doesn't know.
I really don't know.
Do you want me to go first?
No, I'm gonna give it a 79.
79.
79.
Why would you give it a 79?
Kind of similar to, like, my Civil War, it's like almost a B. It's like almost a B. Like, it's more like a 79.9. If they had done a couple of things better, it would have been worth a B. But it's a standard superhero movie.
It's a good time. It's nothing amazing.
It's nothing to write home about.
Yeah, but
it actually.
if you go see this movie, you'll have fun.
It's nothing to make a video review about. How about that?
I would probably give it like a 75, I would say, out of 100. I think that it wasn't amazing, but it definitely was a good time. If you go to this movie, you're gonna have fun, you're gonna like enjoy yourself. It's gonna be good. It's not, I decided to rate it less than I rated Civil War just because Civil War, I think, it handled multiple characters better. It
handled their entire ensemble
and
well.
Civil War also had, I think, more, plot-wise, there was more stuff going on. It was more interesting. There was more character stuff. Well, this kind of wasted even more. If you believed this, if you saw our last review, this film wasted more time with a pointless villain than Civil War did.
Yeah.
But at the same time, didn't spend enough time on the villain.
Yeah. Because all it spent time on was, let me be ostentatious. That's what they spent time on in this movie. Which was cool to see a pyramid built out of nothing but sand, and cool to see him shove people into a building and, like, make them part of the building. But why?
But why? We'll never know. We'll never know.
The world may never know.
I'll ask Oscar Isaac next time
next time we're hanging out with him?
We're bros.
Yeah.
Right, Oscar Isaac? Okay. That was my wink for Oscar Isaac, who's definitely a subscriber, and if Oscar Isaac is subscribed to this channel, then
so should you.
Welcome to the end screen. This is what we do on the end screen.
Oh yeah, we're fun.
If you'd like to see more of our reviews, you can subscribe to us. I'm gonna put a box for you to do that somewhere on the screen.
Probably over here.
Maybe over here.
Maybe over here.
We don't know yet. It'll be somewhere. Also, I have a channel where I upload vlogs and stuff, and you could probably see that over here somewhere.
Why not over you?
Because you already put the subscribe button over me. Oh God, I can't work with her.
And I might be doing videos on my blog, but I won't post that until I actually do something on it.
But maybe one day there will be a link right down here.
Right down here, yeah.
For Jocelyn's channel. And then over here, in this corner, because we have 4 corners, like the 4 Horsemen, except we actually spend time on our corners, as you can see.
Except for this one. This one's Angel. No, this one's Psylocke.
This corner, you can click to see our review of Civil War. Yeah. Until next time, kids. And now.
Wait, can we redo that? My arm is awkwardly like. Wait. wait. One of us has to go in and one, like, like inward.
Like this?
Yeah.